This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Only on RTV6, a service relied upon by hundreds of seniors needs your help. A van that looks just like this one was stolen as a driver for Johnson County Senior Services helped a patient get to her life-saving cancer treatment. RTV6's Graham Hunter shows you how this happened and why it's so important that this group gets help tracking down their stolen van.
The vehicle that was stolen is vital to the operation of Johnson County Senior Services. It's pretty much just like this van right here. What makes it so special is this wheelchair ramp. It's a little bit wider than the ramps they have in their other vehicles. That means they can get bigger wheelchairs inside. That means folks on the road and on their way to vital services around the community.
We are the only free door-to-door transportation service in the entire county.
Kimberly Smith helps lead the organization's transportation services from Edinburgh to Southport Road.
We also are the only agency that delivers food to the homes of food insecure folks.
60 times a day and over 13,000 trips a year, they're taking seniors anywhere they need to go.
They're going to life-saving treatment, dialysis, chemotherapy, radiation.
But what happened Thursday morning?
This is the twin of the other van that was stolen.
Susan Vandemeen was behind the wheel.
We depend on these.
It was a busy morning.
We're on a tight schedule. I picked up several people and dropped them off, and the last one I was dropping off.
They were at St. Francis Hospital.
This time there wasn't anybody around, and it's just a quick trip. I just left the key in, took her in, brought her back, and no van.
While Vandeman dealt with the police report, the Senior Services dispatch team had to scramble.
They had to jump into action and had to figure out how we were going to get people from point A to point B.
They got everyone where they needed to be today, but Johnson County Senior Services needs the van or one like it to keep things running on time.
You can't miss. It's a non-negotiable for these folks, and they have no other option. We are their only viable option.
As the team tries to figure out,
how could you be so thoughtless?
It's heart-wrenching that they are the most underserved, underfunded, underappreciated demographic in our entire county. It's just not okay.
Reporting in Johnson County, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
Thanks, Graham. And the stolen van is a 2017 wheelchair-accessible white Dodge Caravan with a blue municipal plate. The number is 54394. If you see it, get in touch with police. You can find that description again at theindychannel.com. Now to the latest in an international terrorism scheme that centers right here in Metro Indianapolis. Tonight, we are digging into the court documents and the timeline leading up to the arrest of two brothers from Fishers. Right now, they are in federal custody and could spend decades in prison for their alleged role in trying to provide firearms in support for ISIS. RTV6's Mark Mullen shows you the brothers' downfall ended up being an undercover FBI agent.
Photos of the evidence show a cache of weapons, firearms manufactured to sell and ship overseas to the terrorist organization known as ISIS. And federal investigators say two brothers from Fishers were behind the plan.
When we first saw it, we thought it was like a military drill or something like that. There was about 30 FBI agents that came up through this entrance here and drove right up into the yard and batter rammed the door down, and we really didn't know what to think at the time.
Neighbors snapped photos as the FBI raid happened, not knowing that the two brothers who lived next door or down the street were being investigated for their possible ties to an international terrorism scheme. A federal grand jury indicted 21-year-old Moyad Dannon and 20-year-old Mahdi Dannon for allegedly trying to provide material support and resources, including firearms, to ISIS. In a statement, the head of the FBI's Indianapolis division called this operation unprecedented here, saying, quote, "This case is the first of its kind for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, where you have individuals allegedly making guns to sell and or send overseas to ISIS. This indictment paints a vivid picture of the rapid rise of homegrown violent extremism and the lengths people are willing to go to in their support for terrorist activity," end quote. Federal prosecutors say Mahdi Dannon was awaiting trial in northern Indiana on felony theft charges when he came up with a scheme to deliver firearms to an FBI informant. The informant introduced the brothers to an undercover FBI agent. Last year, the Dannon brothers sold firearms to the informant and began making untraceable semi-automatic rifles, which they sold to the undercover FBI agent. Then, Moyad Dannon and the agent traveled to the southern U.S. border to sell the firearms to a potential buyer, who would then ship them to the Middle East for use by ISIS. In May, the brothers ramped up production of their rifles and sold them to more undercover agents near the southwest U.S. border, leading to their arrests. In Fishers, Mark Mullins, RTV6.
Thank you for that, Mark. And the Dannon brothers appeared in federal court today for their arraignment. They're being held in jail without bond. If convicted, they could face 10 years in prison on each of the firearms charges and 20 years in prison for trying to provide material to support to ISIS. Now to the forecast. This time last night, rain was an issue across central Indiana. That's not the case tonight, as you can see from this live look for outside from our tower camera. Kevin's helping you plan your Friday.
It feels a lot better out there right now. 88 was our high temperature today. That occurred at 4 o'clock. Now we're still at 76, but that's 76 degrees with lower humidity. The sky is clear. No threat of thunderstorms tonight. 69 in Kokomo. They're kind of leading the way, and some spots may actually end in the 50s tomorrow morning. The drier air will help that temperature fall. There's the north breeze bringing drier conditions and cooler temperatures. That's how we'll start our Friday. Temperature in Indianapolis, lower 60s, 50s then to the north. Lots of sunshine on the way tomorrow. 79 and mostly sunny at noon, and during the afternoon 85 the high with low humidity. How long can we keep the humidity low? Find out coming up.
And from the west side to the northeast side, safety improvements have been made in separate Indianapolis communities after you asked RTV6 for help. We start near Eagle Creek, where safety barrels are back in place one day after a cyclist told RTV6 the new bike path over the reservoir is unsafe. They will help protect people walking and biking on the path along West 56th Street. The barrels are a temporary measure until the Department of Public Works can install reflective equipment along the white stripes separating the bike lanes. And crosswalk signals near Castleton Square Mall are working correctly tonight. Last month, we counted 6 intersections along 82nd Street with non-functioning signals, creating a dangerous situation for people walking. If you have a problem and need help getting results, contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. And we are working to get a resolution for a family who says they've been visiting their loved ones at a cemetery for decades, and the grounds have never looked so bad. RTV6 went to Forest Hill Cemetery in Shelbyville today and saw graves covered in weeds and dead and damaged trees. 14 of Jody Longstreet's family members are buried at that cemetery.
I've been coming here for 22 plus years, and it has never looked like this. You know, some people come out here and talk to their loved ones, and I want to be able to do that. I don't want to complain every time I come out here.
We took those concerns to the cemetery board. The president of the board says crews are working hard to clean up the area, but it's been difficult with the rain. If you think the city does not care about side streets, think again. Indianapolis leaders are putting a spotlight on a crew that focuses solely on residential and neighborhood streets. The city created the street maintenance team late last year. They repair streets that may not be addressed by private contractors under the Department of Public Works' plan. Now today, the crew demonstrated its work on Laurel Hall Drive near 56th and Emerson Way on the northeast side.
This new strategy opens our city's pavement rehabilitation work on 2 fronts, both large projects that affect thousands and smaller streets like this one, which may serve 100 or so cars daily.
So far this year, the street maintenance team has fixed roads in 21 areas in the city. Tall plants are making it dangerous for drivers in Carmel. That's what some people are telling RTV6. Drivers say the greenery in the middle of roundabouts makes it hard to see, especially for shorter people or people in smaller cars. There are also concerns the plants make it more difficult for people who are not used to navigating roundabouts.
So they don't even know what they're doing in the first place on a roundabout. So this and if they can't see the cars around them, this could make it more difficult for them to even maneuver the roundabout.
Either traffic has to enter the roundabout blind, not being able to see to their direct left, or they have to come to a complete stop and then creep up to see around the tall grass planted at the entrance.
RTV6 took those concerns to the city. A spokesperson says there is a purpose behind those plants. The structure and landscaping in the middle of the roundabout and on the medians are meant to keep the focus of the drivers to the left when they get to the roundabout. The city also says crews check the line of sight often. And tonight we know how an Indianapolis man died more than a month after his body was found stuffed in a suitcase. The Marion County coroner says 56-year-old Larry Terry was strangled. People fishing along a creek near Raymond and Keystone on the southeast side found the suitcase in May. Relatives reported Terry missing in March. And if you have info that could help this investigation, call 317-262-TIPS. An interstate fire destroyed a motorcycle and led to the arrest of the rider, but not on charges related to the damage. State police found the motorcycle on I-65 in Jackson County Wednesday morning. A short time later, they found the driver walking across a field. It turns out he was wanted on warrants, and during a search, troopers discovered he was carrying a loaded gun, meth, Xanax, and syringes. The driver faces several drug-related charges. New at 11, Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration is officially underway. Grace Apostolic Church on 22nd Street near College hosted the annual service this evening. Now, the event brings together different cultures, religions, and communities. During the service, Dr. Kenneth Sullivan praised Indianapolis.
I hear a whole lot of people talking about I'm going to leave Indianapolis. I'm going to leave Indiana. If you can't make it here, you can't make it nowhere. I believe God has blessed you in this city.
Summer celebration goes through July 21st and includes concerts, a youth summit, job fair, film festival, and much more.
Oh my God, the FBI. They know everything.
A TGIT staple is saying goodbye. Today, ABC announced the 6th season of How to Get Away with Murder will be its last. Watch how it all ends, starting with the season premiere on September 26th, only on RTV6.
There's a lot of networking groups in our area. There's some for just women, some for just men, some for everybody, but there's none for moms.
There are now how local entrepreneurs who are also mothers are building each other up.
I was so humiliated. I walked down the aisle with my head down. I didn't want to see another passenger's face.
Next, flight attendants or fashion police. What American Airlines is saying after a passenger says she was told to cover up or get kicked off a flight. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
More Mute GMC in Fishers.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
The flight attendant stopped me in the aisle and said, "We need to talk to you up front."
American Airlines is apologizing and investigating after a passenger says she was told she would not be allowed on her flight unless she covered up her outfit. Dr. Tisha Rowe posted pictures of what she was wearing on June 30th when flight attendants pulled her aside while boarding a plane from Jamaica to Florida. Rowe says she had to wrap herself in a blanket provided by the crew. She believes racial and body discrimination played a role in what happened here.
There were definitely other passengers on the flight wearing tropical attire, short shorts. One was also a mother, also traveling with a child, and she said, you know, no way. And she looked at my shorts, she looked at her shorts, and she said, well, your shorts are longer than mine, and no one said anything to me.
Rose says the experience humiliated her and her 8-year-old son. She wants an explanation as to why she was singled out. Shoppers will have to find a new store to get earrings and bracelets to match their dresses and shoes. Charming Charlie plans to close all 261 locations after filing for bankruptcy for the second time in 2 years. The accessory shop is known for its wide selection of colors and styles, and there are Charming Charlies at Greenwood Park Mall, Clay Terrace, and Hamilton Town Center. In honor of Shark Tank's upcoming visit to Indianapolis, Hiring Hoosiers is connecting you to resources for entrepreneurs. And tonight, the focus is on mompreneurs. Pursuing a career while raising kids can be difficult. If you need support, there are several local groups created for moms by moms. City Moms provides sessions for businesswomen to learn new skills, and Indie Mompreneurs provides networking opportunities for working mothers where kids are welcome.
Finding reliable childcare last minute for networking events isn't always an option for everybody. So having a group where people were like, okay, we understand kids are going to probably be there was kind of the big one.
It's really about finding that community that can help you and support you and give you advice and can be a sounding board for you when you're struggling or when you have the mom guilt.
You can find more info about these groups on our website at hiringhoosiers.com. And to learn more about the Shark Tank open call at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, go to theindychannel.com. Gates open at 6 a.m. on Tuesday. You are encouraged to fill out an application beforehand. The governor of Louisiana is asking the Trump administration to declare a federal emergency ahead of the tropical storm headed towards the state's coast. Tropical Storm Barry is expected to make landfall late tomorrow or early Saturday. This storm threat is especially scary because it will be the first time a potential hurricane will make landfall in Louisiana while the Mississippi River is at a flood stage.
We're confident that we are not going to have a duplicate of Katrina. However, if you have a storm that has elevations much higher than those flood walls, you're going to get water in the city.
Officials are telling residents to stock up on at least 72 hours worth of food, water, and medication before the storm hits.
I'll show you how that may bring some rain our way in the middle of next week, and I say may because until it makes landfall, you don't absolutely know. We do know this: it feels better out.
It does feel nice out
yesterday
tonight.
At this time, we had downpour still in progress. We had that heat index of 105, and we're starting to feel the relief. 76 is the current temperature in Indianapolis. Up in Cass County, hello, Logansport. You're at 68. That's nice. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s in some spots. There is the swirl of tropical storm Barry now sitting south of New Orleans. All indications are this may strengthen a little bit. The winds are at 50 miles per hour, so if it becomes a hurricane, it'd be a very weak hurricane. They're 7 a.m. on Saturday making landfall. After that, early next week, starts to make its turn to the north and then northeast, and then by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, our rain chances will increase as a result then of the moisture coming our way. Here's a big picture. You'll see the swirl and come on board down along the Gulf Coast, and the moisture drifting then to the north and east, and many of us need some rain. I know those of you that had 2 to 4 inches of rain yesterday are saying, no, we're good, but most of us did not see that type of rain. Tomorrow and Saturday, dry. Sunday and Monday, likely dry. Just a 20% chance we'll see any rain. Then as we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, our overall rain and thunderstorm chances will increase. Well, we've been at the other end of the humidity scale for a while. Now we're finally on the good end, so to speak. Comfortable is the way I would describe it. Tomorrow, as our dew point temperatures will be in the 50s instead of the 70s. Temperatures tomorrow, low to mid 80s. We'll have plenty of sunshine through the day. Today was quite breezy. We had winds gust over 20 miles per hour. During the day tomorrow, wind will generally be 5 to 10 miles per hour. Afternoon reading in Indy right where it should be this time of year. That's our average high, 85. What changes as we go into the weekend? A little bit more humidity Saturday, then a decent amount of humidity on Sunday. As that comes up, it'll take our actual temperature of 91, make it feel more like 95 to about 98. Just want to point out, as we're on the edge of the bubble of warm air coming back, sometimes you'll get these little areas of thunderstorms that'll ride right along the dividing line between the warm, humid air and the cooler conditions, and that may happen in northern Indiana later on Saturday. Temperatures as warm as 91 in Columbus during the afternoon Saturday, 90 in Bloomington. Sunday overall will be the warmer of the 2 days, certainly more humid. That drives that heat index value into the 90s, upper 90s. Monday, slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, and as I mentioned, for the reasons of Tropical Storm Barry and the moisture moving our way, our thunderstorm chances increase Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's a 7-day forecast. Comfortable tomorrow morning and Saturday morning. And then overnight low temperatures will consistently be around 70 with afternoon highs around 90 and the best chance for thunderstorms in the middle of next week. So all in all, a good stretch of days here through the weekend.
Not too bad. Thanks, Kevin. Brad standing by with a look at sports. Hey, Brad.
Thanks, team. Working our way toward the weekend. The Indians working their way toward the season. That means a lot of time spent on the bus as the road trips start to roll on. We got to tag along for a recent ride with the Tribe as they went from south to north on the way through. We'll have that for you coming up in our Sports Extra Spotlight next.
IndianaBlackExpo.com for more information.
French Lake Resort hosting the Symetra Tour this weekend. Feeder series to the LPGA. A hot day for round one. Good conditions, though, on that gorgeous golf course. Thailand's Patty Tavatanakit shot the only 66 at 5 under par. Shot a 32 on the front nine, included an eagle and 2 birdies. The tourney continues on Friday and Saturday at French Lake. And good evening, everyone. The Indians back in action after the All-Star break. They're playing in Columbus tonight. More than the clubhouse or the batting cage or even the dugout, minor leaguers spend most of their time on the bus. We rolled alongside on a recent road trip for a taste of the baseball life. It's only on RTV6, and it's tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight. The rain in Louisville brings an early end to the game on this Wednesday night. It's a fortunate call for the Indians, who will leave here with a win in what could have been a long, wet wait.
We've been playing really good baseball. We've been playing a lot of good team baseball, and I think that really helps, especially when you go on the road. It's a tough league, and when you can play together as a team, you can win on the road too.
The end of this 3-game series sees the real grind of the minor league baseball season cycle around again. Equipment staff loads up the bus. Players get showered, get comfortable, and get a seat for the overnight ride to the next city.
Try to get as much sleep as you can, because we got, I think, 5 games coming in 4 days or something, so sleep will be the main thing.
Tonight's trip is modest by minor league standards. From Louisville to Toledo, 5 hours on a charter bus, just a quick stop in the middle. The buses become a second home for these guys. 36 times they'll load up and go during the season. Hundreds of hours, more than 30,000 miles. That leads to a bunch of late nights and early mornings. This time it's a 4 a.m. arrival to the team hotel in Toledo. Not seen here, some keys got mixed up and several guys didn't get checked in for another hour. Less than 12 hours later, it starts all over again. Players head to the ballpark, conveniently across the street from the hotel this time. A few players get some swings in the cage, others go through their routine just to get loose.
There's a lot more that goes into this than just showing up at 7 o'clock and being ready to play a game. There's a lot of work that goes into it prior to the game. There's the travel. There are some of the amenities are really nice, and then there's other times where you might not have the best accommodations as far as a hotel or the travel or the ballpark. So there's a lot of things that go into it. Some enjoy the grind. Some have to deal with it.
The night would bring another Indians win. Handshakes, high fives, a great way to start this long weekend in Ohio.
I love playing with these guys. We got prospects all over the place, guys playing good Ds, so it's really fun to just be able to put the ball wherever and know if it gets put in play, there's a good chance it's going to be made.
But then the wheel spins all over again. Another hotel night, another city, another game. But for these pros, just part of the baseball life. Louisville and Toledo are the 2 closest trips for the Indians. Here are the longest. It's nearly 15 hours to go out to Pawtucket, Rhode Island, play the Paw Sox, a couple others, up toward 10 hours. They will visit Syracuse and Rochester back-to-back in a couple of weeks, and they will still go back to Louisville and Toledo twice each before the season is done. The Indians are back home on Monday night, 4 games against Syracuse. Tim Tebow is expected to be in the lineup for the visitors, and then they'll have 3 here against Durham next weekend. Time for a final break, then we'll be back to wrap up tonight's News at 11 next.
Be there so you can make it here.
The annual RTV6 Back to School Drive is 1 week from today. We will be collecting supplies on Monument Circle on July 18th from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. There's a specific need for spiral notebooks, loose leaf paper, pens, pencils, and pocket folders.
We'll see you on Monument Circle. It always, when I was a kid, State Fair kind of signaled the end of summer and the beginning then of the school year. Now with the balanced schedule, we get, back earlier.
Well, thanks for joining us. Have a good rest of your evening. Good night.